So we really wanted to put the mountains on the ring to signify that uphill battle that we face as a class together, and the bonds that you make when you do something like that. It's honestly, you can't get that anywhere else or any other institution. I mean, I can speak for all of us in saying I've made such close-knit friends here that they're like my brothers and sisters, and that's something that you only get from adversity. And mountains are synonymous with adversity, however you want to look at it. So.
The American flag is a statement of enduring freedom and a symbol of our nation's unity. We chose to include the flag on our ring to serve as a reminder of our commitment to our country and the ideals that it represents. Definitely one of the most important things because it's something that represents all of us, and no matter what background we came from, we all assembled here at Norwich for for a reason, because there's a little bit of a higher calling in all of us, and yeah, it's something that we all grew up under, and that represents all of us.
It's a representation of like the challenges that I had to go through to get my scholarship, to get my contract, and I had to wait at least 2 years to actually get it. And by the time I get it, I was like, whoa, I'm gonna be an officer someday, and I'm gonna have one of these swords, these sabers in my hand. But it's not just me who's gonna be in the military. There's tons of us that are going in the military, commissioned or enlisted, but also there's others who's gonna go in the civilian world. These swords and sabers, they just stand for all the challenges and the hardships that everyone's going through. Everyone's working towards a goal to just achieve something in their life. That's what it is.
Well, the Rook piece is it's a traditional piece, and so for us, we wanted to keep that on there, but make it unique for our class. So one thing we wanted to do was we had the 14, our Rook year, our freshman year, and for us, the Rook piece is a traditional piece. It's foundational to the ring, and we really wanted that to parallel with how it's foundational to Rookdom, and Rookdom is foundational to everyone's time here at Norwich. It's the starting point for an experience that for most people is a once-in-a-lifetime thing and changes people. The Rook piece to me means, it's something, this is a junior ring, but for me the Rook piece is a reminder of where we came from. We all started from the same place. We all worked there together. We started out together, and now we're here, we're juniors, and we're getting this ring, which is a really important thing for everyone.
The chain on the ring represents to me is the bond that we have with the men and women of Norwich who came before us, and also with the men and women of Norwich who are going to come after us. The fracture in the chain represents our constant struggle to maintain our traditions and maintain our values and those cardinal virtues that we've been taught ever since August of 2014 when we came to Norwich. Is a constant reminder that it's our job as Norwich men and women from this point on to maintain everything that we've been taught over the past few years, to be those men and women of honor and integrity, and to bring that with us after we leave Norwich. It's also important to remember that the chain is only fractured, it's not broken. And again, it's our job to make sure that that chain doesn't get broken for the sake of our alma mater. It represents the frustration that a lot of the Corps has. A lot of what we see as traditions being taken away, and the things that made us better as Rooks, like the push-ups and memorizing rookie knowledge. And it's frustrating for us to see that taken away, because that's what made us proud to be Norwich men and women. And that is what made us strong. And that's why we came to Norwich, to become better than what we were a few years ago. Better than what we were before we came to Norwich. And seeing those traditions being taken away for whatever reason, is frustrating, and that's what the fracture in the chain represents.
So the Statue of Liberty is an iconic, enduring symbol of freedom and democracy. And as a committee, we wanted to recognize our nation and our country's ongoing war with terror. The statue itself sits in the backdrop of the Twin Towers, and our class is known for the last class that I remember where they were and what they were doing on 9/11. I know personally, I remember I was in school and I remember watching my teachers go into another room and looking at a TV screen, and at the time I didn't really know what was going on, but later when I found out the true meaning of what they were doing, and I watched a little bit of it, and I remember seeing someone falling from the Twin Towers, and that's forever ingrained in my mind. And we chose to put the Statue of Liberty because when we were designing the ring, the Paris attacks were still fresh in our mind, and the Statue of Liberty being donated by France, that's an interesting connection that we thought would be a great idea to put on our ring.
The ROTC scroll really means the opportunity that's been given to me as a Norwich student to go off and serve in my country's military, and there's no greater honor than that. Also, it's a nice commemoration of the celebration of the 100-year anniversary that we all got to witness. General Milley came in, spoke with us, had general flag officers all throughout campus. It's an event that Norwich is going to forever remember. The ROTC program really connects our class. It's whether you are in the Army ROTC program, Navy ROTC, Air Force or Marines, or even people going into the Coast Guard. All of us came to Norwich with the idea of service. Well, it means to me, it's our legacy. It's the past 100 years of service in the military, in the civilian sector. Many people have gone through the ROTC program, now general flag officers. Not only that, but we're also the founders of ROTC. Going back to Alden Partridge, his concept of a citizen soldiery, the government, the federal government, entrusted a small school in Northfield, Vermont to be the founders of the ROTC program. And since then, it's been the largest commissioning source.
So we selected the doors to be the focal point of our side of the ring. These doors from Plumley Armory represent so much more than just the doors we walked through as recruits and out as cadets. They represent they're the embodiment of change, the embodiment of progression from recruits into cadets and people into citizen soldiers. These doors really mean just so much because you're gonna go through life every day of your life. You're gonna be walking through and seeing all of these challenges, and these doors represent those challenges. You're not gonna ever walk up to a door that's gonna be open and ready for you to walk through. You're gonna have to find out some way that you can open those doors. And these closed doors are simply a reminder of that.
The cannons represent the foundation of the Plumley doors, and the Plumley doors represent the future and future challenges within our lives. Like at the beginning of Rookdom, cannon fired, and when we graduate, the cannon's gonna fire, which thereby represents an end of a challenge. Cannons represent my resiliency because throughout a cannon's lifetime, it shoots thousands of rounds, and it just keeps on going. It doesn't stop. It'll always push through, and that is a motivator and an inspiration for me to become a better person by accepting challenges and fighting through my fears and difficulties.